Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving straight into the true mechanics of tourism marketing and how value is actually created. If you're in the travel sector, or honestly just fascinated by how destinations capture our imaginations, you might think you already know the basics of marketing. But today, we're going to strip away those assumptions together. We're going to uncover the underlying science and psychology of exactly why we travel and how modern tourism brands build absolute empires, not by pushing products, but by meticulously engineering value. Let's get into it.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with beyond ads and sales, move into defining true marketing, cover why marketing matters, break down needs, wants, and demands, and finally, wrap up with the exchange of value.
All right, Section 1, Beyond Ads and Sales, or as I like to call it, the myths of marketing. So ask yourself, when you hear the word marketing, what pops into your head? Do you immediately picture flashy billboards, maybe telemarketing calls interrupting your dinner, or aggressive salespeople trying to close a deal? It's super common to equate marketing strictly with promotion and sales. But in reality, selling is just a single, small component of a much larger engine. Sure, selling and advertising are pieces of the puzzle, but true marketing is a cyclical, way deeper process. It actually starts long before a product or service even exists. It begins with a needs assessment, figuring out exactly what the customer is actually looking for, followed by product development that's completely tailored to those exact needs. It's all about designing an offering that provides such clear, undeniable value that the customer just naturally wants it. I absolutely love this perspective from management legend Peter Drucker. He noted that the ultimate aim of marketing is to make selling superfluous. Just think about that for a second. If your marketing is incredibly effective, if you've deeply understood your customer's needs and created immense value, well, the customer is already ready to buy. You literally don't need a hard sell because the product perfectly aligns with what they already want. Moving right along to Section 2, Defining True Marketing, the Art of Creating Value. Marketing expert Philip Kotler manages to distill this entire massive business function into just 3 simple words: meeting needs profitably. That right there is the absolute core of the discipline. It's this incredibly delicate balance of providing a genuine solution to a consumer's problem while also ensuring the business can sustain itself and actually grow. The American Marketing Association expands on this beautifully. And notice the heavy emphasis on the word value. In simple terms, consumers are only going to hand over their hard-earned money if the perceived benefits of your offering far exceed the perceived costs. It's a managerial process of creating, communicating, and delivering that value. Actually, scratch that. It's not just about the customers. It's about creating value for partners and society at large, too. Okay, Section 3, Why Marketing Matters, the Engine of Growth. Tourism is one of the fastest-growing industries on the planet, and you better believe it is fiercely competitive. Because of this, effective marketing is the literal lifeblood for destinations, hotels, and airlines. We're not just talking about a single company turning a profit here. Marketing drives entire economies. It encourages consumer spending, pushes businesses to ramp up production, and creates jobs across all these interconnected sectors, which directly fuels economic development. But beyond the pure economics, marketing is what connects businesses with customers to build powerful global brand reputations. A perfect real-world example is the famous Incredible India campaign, led by the Ministry of Tourism. This wasn't just about selling plane tickets, right? It was a massive strategic move to fundamentally change the destination image of India among international tourists. They turned a geographic location into a highly desirable, globally recognized brand. Let's dig into the human element now in Section 4, Needs, Wants, and Demands, the Psychology of Travel. Marketers track a very specific linear progression when it comes to human psychology. It always starts with a need, which is just a basic feeling of deprivation. Over time, that evolves into a want, which is a specific desire heavily shaped by culture or your individual personality. And finally, it becomes demand. Demand only happens when that want is backed up by actual purchasing power in the real economy. It's totally fascinating how we can map Maslow's famous hierarchy of needs directly onto our travel behaviors. A tourist's basic physical need drives them to find a bed and a meal. A safety need makes them avoid conflict zones. But as we move higher up the pyramid, the need for love and belonging, that drives the entire sharing economy. It's exactly why tourists book local homestays like Airbnb to connect with host societies. An esteem need might drive someone to go adventure trekking or honestly just travel to boost their social media status. And self-actualization? That drives people seeking inner peace towards spiritual or religious journeys. Marketers do not create these needs. They simply trigger them. Because those needs are completely hardwired into us, a marketer's real job is to shape our wants. Think about it. Everyone has a basic biological need for food when they're hungry. But a clever marketer takes that basic need and steers it, making, say, a hungry Italian tourist specifically desire a pizza over a hamburger. They're creating awareness that a highly specific solution to your need exists out there. However, here is the kicker. A want only becomes a tangible demand in the market when it is backed by the ability to pay. You might desperately want to go to space, but demand only exists if you have the budget for it. That is exactly why NASA can successfully open up the International Space Station to private astronauts and price it at a staggering $52 million per person. They identified a want, and they zeroed in on the specific segment with the purchasing power to turn it into a demand. Which brings us to our final stop, Section 5, the exchange of value, markets, utility, and loyalty. Traditionally, a market was a physical place you went to. But today, we've moved to market spaces, and even further into what we call meta markets. These are digital environments that bundle all the complementary products and services of an entire industry into one incredibly convenient place. Think of platforms like Yatra.com. You aren't just booking a flight anymore. You're booking the hotel, the local transport, the activities, and the guides, the whole shebang, all in one unified ecosystem. These meta markets are massively successful because marketing fundamentally provides utility to the consumer. We can break this down into 4 types. Form utility is about bundling services for a better experience. Time utility is scheduling flights when people actually want to fly. Place utility is having the product accessible wherever the customer is. And possession utility is about seamless payment. For instance, an app like Oyo Rooms gives you incredible place and possession utility, letting you secure a room instantly, right from your smartphone, no matter where you are. The underlying truth here, and this is absolutely crucial, is that customers do not buy products. They buy the benefits those products provide. A runner with joint pain buys a shoe for the benefit of walking pain-free, not because they really love rubber and mesh. In tourism, targeting specific segments allows you to offer precise, tailored benefits. Take the WOW Club, for example, which designs travel packages exclusively for women, or Planet Abled, which provides highly accessible travel solutions for people with disabilities. They aren't forcing users to adapt to a standard one-size-fits-all product. They are tailoring the value proposition exactly to the user's unique needs. And when you deliver those perfect benefits, you create satisfaction, which leads directly to loyalty. The math behind this is arguably the most important formula in all of marketing. Research proves time and time again that retaining a loyal, satisfied customer costs only 1/5 of what it takes to acquire a brand new one. Unsatisfied customers create negative word of mouth, but loyal customers, they literally drive your long-term profitability. This undeniable 1-to-5 ratio is exactly why the modern focus is so heavily on relationship marketing. It is the reason major travel brands invest millions into keeping you coming back. Whether it's Radisson Rewards, Taj Inner Circle, or airline frequent flyer programs, these institutions completely understand that building mutually satisfying long-term relationships is the absolute key to a sustainable competitive advantage. As we wrap up this explainer, we've seen that true tourism marketing is this masterful blend of psychology, utility, and relationship building. It goes so far beyond just throwing up a billboard or running an ad. So, I leave you with this final thought to ponder. Looking at your own projects or your own business, how will you apply these deep psychological drivers to design a value exchange so utterly perfect for your customer that the act of selling becomes entirely unnecessary? Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive.